It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our WWE edition. We're going to talk all things Raw and NXT, plus our LVD and MVDs. And if you want to know how we thought about Clash in Italy, you can check it out. It's already been posted. Give it a listen. Ryan, are you ready to break it down, as Triple H would say?
Yeah, we're kind of changing it up a little bit. We're doing more highs and lows of WWE and the week that was in WWE. So bringing back one of my favorite segments and incorporating it into our weekly episodes. So hopefully people like it. If you don't, let us know in the comments. If you do like it, let us know in the comments. But either way, don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff on this video and any other video, and go follow Two Dudes with Attitudes.
And as Nick Khan would say, if you tell us you don't like it, we don't care, because we're not going to swerve our opinion anyway.
That's right. We don't listen to the internet. Who listens to the internet, right?
Fans don't matter. Hit that music.
Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
All right, Ryan, it's time to get into it. And as always, we're going to open up with Monday Night Raw, because as the late, great ODB said, oh, baby, I like it raw. And Ryan's going to start.
ODB from TNA?
Get out of here with that. Remember, she was her gimmick was grabbing her boobs. Like,
yes.
you're a superstar.
ODB.
So did I, actually. I
did.
Awesome. Yeah. I did. All right, but you're going to open it up with a banger. What is your low? Something you didn't like on Monday Night Raw. Let's hear it.
So I'm going to open it up with the opening segment of Monday Night Raw, the acknowledgement ceremony between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. This segment just didn't land. I didn't like it. I'm like, I know that everyone's like, this is cinema, this is great. Like, not for me. And I'll go into detail as to why. So it stems from the ending of Clash in Italy, where they show Roman, they show Jacob Fatu, they show Roman talking shit to the camera, yelling about Cody Rhodes and saying QB1, F that noise. I'm the true champion of WWE. And then you see Jacob in like kind of looking like a lost puppy. Then you see Jimmy and Jay like clapping and stuff. And then Roman looks over at the MFTs and he's like, I got something to say to them too. I got something to say. And then then we get to the acknowledgement ceremony, and Roman shows up, comes right out, grabs his champ. Why is he not carrying his championship? I don't know, but he always has someone handing him the title.
Yeah, that new gimmick is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, bring your championship everywhere you go. Like, you're the champ. But anyway, he comes into the ring. He makes the crowd acknowledge him, says this is his favorite time of the year because it's acknowledgement time. And then he has Jacob acknowledge him. And then that's it. That's the end of the segment. And it was just, Jacob falls in line and nothing happens. He does call Jay a punk ass. But I think the thing for me was, and we'll kind of get into it with the next low, but you ended Clash in Italy. And I don't see a lot of people talking about this either, but you ended Clash in Italy with Roman Reigns kind of staring down Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. And then Roman says that he's going to have something to say about the MFTs, and he's going to call them out. And then he doesn't say anything about the MFTs in his promo on Raw. And then the very next segment, like, not an hour later, not 2 hours later, not the main event of the show, not they didn't do anything to like tease this or anything. After the commercial break, Solo Sikoa wrestles Oba Femi in a fatal 4-way for the King of the Ring, and Solo Sikoa takes the pin, and it's just like, what? Like, what are we? I don't know. Like, to me, it was just like we're supposed to be getting excited about a potential Roman versus Solo match, I guess, or they're trying to get us excited for Bloodline versus MFTs at War Games in 5 months, or whatever the heck they're doing. But you go and do that, and then you have Solo. Not even like completely forgetting about what happened the night before at Clash in Italy. But you also have him take the pinfall to Oba Femi. It was just very, very strange. And I don't know, the segment just did not do anything for me. I was expecting Jacob to fall in line. I was expecting like there to be like him to maybe turn on Roman as they were like walking up the ramp. He beats Roman down. I was expecting a big return of like Drew McIntyre, and that's how Jacob falls in line. Is Drew McIntyre's attacking Jacob, and Roman helps Jacob, and then that's Jacob and Roman realize that they're stronger together than they are apart. Like I think there was a lot of different ways, but again, like the ending of Clash in Italy, nothing really happened in this opening segment to really get me to want to tune in moving forward.
Yeah. By the way, my headphones went dead, so hopefully we're not hearing you twice.
I can hear you.
Yeah, now you're on the speakers. So, but nonetheless, yes, I think I'm more indifferent about it. I don't know if I loved it or hated it. I was glad that he fell in line, but I am a little worried. Like I don't want to see him yeeting all over the place next week with Jay and Jimmy. And I fully agree with you, the Solo thing. You stared him down. You made it look like they were going to have some kind of part, and then Solo takes the pin. Like, you're not going to have him kind of...
And don't even, talk about him.
Talk about it. It's a little weird. I haven't seen SmackDown. I don't know if they talk about it on SmackDown tonight or not, but it was a very, very weird decision, to say the least. But I do think it's leading to something, and I think we talked about this on the other podcast for Clash in Italy, but I do think it's looking like Usos are gonna with Fatu are gonna turn on Roman is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think that's what they're building up to. The youngins trying to, well, not the youngins and the Usos, but taking over. But I am a little sad because even in this segment, I was hoping who attacked Jacob Fatu. We cannot. Why do we ignore these things? We just kind of, and this has been the history of time. This was Vince. This is now, but I was hoping in this promo we were gonna get an inclination of something, maybe a little hint, maybe kind of with Jay. I do like that they're building Jay and Jacob kind of beefing a little bit. I think Jay's just more excited that he's not like the whipping boy anymore, and it's gonna be Jacob, because usually Jay was the one that kind of got the heat from Roman, and now it's gonna be Fatu. I don't know, but I agree with you. It definitely wasn't a hit. I don't know if I agree it was a low, but I don't know. I'm kind of middle, but I'm not going to say you're wrong at all. That's
sure. I mean, I think it's fair to kind of see where it goes and what happens from here. But like you were saying, like Jacob and Jay kind of having like their little history with each other, and but I am worried that it's just going to mean that. You remember Sami Zayn and Jey Uso were beefing with each other, and then they became BFFs in the bloodline, and then they became like, BFFs outside of the bloodline. I don't want Jacob to become the Sami Zayn of the bloodline.
That makes sense.
And I do worry that that's going to happen, to where it's like, they're going to. I don't want them to ruin Jacob Fatu at the expense of the bloodline. So I am curious to see where they go, and I'll play it out. But just this segment in general, just really, I was expecting more, and I don't think they delivered.
Yeah, I don't disagree. All right, well, my low from Raw, and it might be surprising to a lot of you who follow me and who listen to this podcast, because I'm a huge Oba Femi fan and have been, but Oba Femi advancing the King of the Ring tournament to me is an L. I don't think it was the right decision, and the reason why is because I don't believe he's going to win it. I don't see him winning it. I want him to win it. I think him and Roman hinted at it after WrestleMania, saying, I want Roman and SummerSlam, and Roman saying, I'm going to wrestle till SummerSlam, basically. I'll wrestle through summer full time. I think they alluded to it, but we can't just have Brock come back and get the win on Oba to go 1-1 to them not wrestle again till after SummerSlam, because Oba, like you stated to me, the King of the Ring tournament finals are in Saudi. So you can't, if Oba's in the finals, he can't wrestle Brock then. And then if Oba wins, he can't wrestle Brock at SummerSlam. So if Oba is going to win, they have to go after that. So I see Oba losing this tournament. And to me, that makes no sense. This was your out, man. If you're going to have him and Brock wrestle, it doesn't matter if it goes in Saudi or if it goes at SummerSlam. You can have him cost the match, or something happens and Oba gets distracted, or you turn the music on, Paul Heyman comes, I don't know what happened, and Oba gets distracted and somebody else advances in the King of the Ring tournament. So to me, it's an L. Now, I know a lot of viewers and listeners can say, well, that doesn't make sense because Oba can still win the whole thing. And I do agree with that. And I think if he wins it all, then I'll take this back. But I don't think he's going to. And so to me, this was an L having him win it, because him losing in a 4-way and not taking a pin is not really a loss, in my opinion. Him taking an L in a one-on-one match, no matter the reason, that's an L. And now that's 2 defeats for a man who should still be undefeated, because that's the gimmick you're pushing. When you have a huge monster that gets beat, it doesn't really make him credible and scary anymore. It makes him, beatable. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in full agreement, man. I didn't like how they did this, and again, I didn't like that he beat the hell out of Solo Sikoa, another guy that we're supposed to be, afraid of, and they're like, how do I believe in Solo against Roman if that's the direction that they're going in?
Yeah.
If Solo can barely get any offense in on Oba Femi and is just getting squashed and all that. So yeah, it was just a weird booking all the way around. And I don't like the fatal 4-ways for the King of the Ring qualifiers anyway. I think those are stupid. But yeah, Oba winning is an L. Oba losing is an L. And I feel like the WWE has found themselves in quite the pickle with this, because if he wins, is he a credible threat, like we were saying before, to beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam because of the loss he took at Clash in Italy? Or would he be more credible if he was undefeated and 2-0 against Brock Lesnar? I think we all know the answer to that. But now, now if he loses in King of the Ring, you're going to hurt him even more, because now he's taken 2 losses.
Yep.
And somebody that shouldn't be beating Oba Femi is going to beat Oba Femi. So I'm curious to see what WWE does to get out of this.
I fully agree, man. And if you want to hear my opinion on Oba Femi and how the WWE's ruined him, TikTok, Instagram, my_wrestling_opinion. I posted a video on that. But Ryan, what is your your one high of Monday Night Raw? There were some positives. Raw was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a solid episode for the most part. But I'm going to go with the main event. I'm going to go Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. Mainly because it was a fun match, but also because it sounds like, and by everything Corey Graves said and Michael Cole said, we're done with Seth Rollins versus The Vision. So now we can move on to, I think Seth Rollins is the guy that should win the King of the Ring tournament. And I think Seth Rollins is the guy that should wrestle Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And I hope that that's kind of the direction that they go in.
Cody?
Because no, not Cody. No, because Cody doesn't want the smoke, but Seth Rollins clearly wants the smoke. But yeah, I mean, plus there's so much story there. There's so much history, and we've barely gotten Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns in a one-on-one setting. I think we've gotten it one time since Roman became the Bloodline, and we had it at Mania, but Punk was involved, and we've had Roman and Punk, but we've never had Roman and Seth on a big scale. And there's so much history, and Seth is the reason Roman lost the title. So I think it makes sense. But I'm digging what they're doing with Seth Rollins. He's done with the corny outfits. He's done with the stupid laugh. He's kind of he's coming into his own a little bit. I like what they're doing with him, teaming up with the Street Profits and with Montez Ford, and how they can't trust him. It's similar to how people felt about Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns became a good guy, or how people felt about Jey Uso when Jey Uso left the Bloodline. Kind of that Kevin Owens effect, where Kevin Owens didn't want anything to do with him because he was a part of the Bloodline, or Drew McIntyre didn't want him on Raw because he was a part of the Bloodline. I like what they're doing with Seth and the Street Profits, because Seth is the reason the Vision exists, and so they can't trust Seth because he brought them into this world, and so Seth is having to earn their trust. I do like that little side story that they're telling. So, but the match against him and Bron have chemistry. Everything about the match was fun.
They do.
And I am glad though that Seth is moving on from the Vision, and we're moving on to other things. And curious to see where Bron goes from here, because I feel like the wind has kind of come out of his sails a little bit too. With Oba Femi and now Bron Breakker, I feel like the WWE, you had lightning in a bottle with some of these future stars, and now it's kind of fizzling out for some of them. So I hope that Bron continues going up the trajectory and kind of climbing up the ladder a little bit. But I'm liking what they're doing with Seth.
Well, unlike Oba Femi, Bron Breakker is not this unbeatable monster. He's already been built up as a guy who can take an L and continue. So the way he lost was okay. It's not going to hurt him. I did not like the spear on Paul Heyman. I don't know. Bron Breakker, I don't know if he's afraid. Like when he ran for 100 miles and then speared Seth Rollins in one of the most embarrassing spears ever. That one on Paul Heyman, I'm like, Paul Heyman could take it a little bit harder. You can make it look a little realistic. I know the crowd ate it up, but they didn't see the angle we saw. It was like it's like me, spearing my 11-year-old son. I'm just like, dink, there you go. Did that hurt?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I thought it was fun. I like the mix with the Street Profits. I like that Seth kind of pointed at him like, thanks. Eye for an eye, homie. I appreciate you. I do agree. And this makes me think that Seth could win the King of the Ring tournament. I do hope it's my doppelganger, Dominic Mysterio. That's right, ladies. The mustache is back. If you'd like a ride, you can go ahead and DM us. But Seth Rollins winning the King of the Ring tournament would be fun. It would be interesting. And you said there's a lot of history with Roman, but there's still history with him and Cody. They have a ton of history, so it could go either way.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind a Seth versus Roman, Shield versus Shield, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, this match was fun. It had a long amount of time. It closed out Raw nicely. So yeah, definitely a high for me. I agree, my dude.
Yeah, it was a good episode of Raw for sure.
It was. Well, my high now, the other person who advanced in the King of the Ring tournament, and that's Iyo Sky. And I like what they're doing with Iyo Sky, man. She kind of had the title, didn't do much, kind of got forgotten a little bit. And then they decided to have a feud with her and Asuka. And she kind of seemed like the little peasant in the background, kind of like Jacob Fatu now in the Bloodline. And then Asuka decides she's kind of leaving for a little bit. I don't think I fully heard why yet or what's going on, personal reasons why. But Iyo beats her, and now she's kind of hot, man. She's winning. She advanced in the King of the Ring tournament. Honestly, I have Becky Lynch winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Iyo wins. And I think Iyo is more popular now with the fans than she's ever been. She's a great looking woman. She's phenomenal in the ring. She's good on the mic. It's not her fault she don't speak English. She delivers good promos. She's likable. She's like a person when you look at her and you're like, you make me happy. But she brings violence. She's like everything you really need in a female wrestler. And her winning, I think, is great. I think it's great for the brand. I think it's great for her. And I wouldn't be shocked if she did win the tournament. I don't think it would be a bad thing either. But yeah, this was a high to see her kind of advance. I like the Iyo Sky love we're getting lately.
Yeah, I think Iyo Sky deserves everything that she's getting. I would love to see her versus Becky Lynch in the finals. I'm not sure if they're on the same side of the bracket. I don't have it in front of me, but I would love to see them in the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament and let them go balls to the wall. And the winner, imagine the winner getting a shot against Rhea Ripley. Both of them have history with Rhea. Becky wrestled Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. Iyo Sky was the tag team champion with Rhea Ripley for a long time there. So, there's story, there's reason to tune in, there's reason to care. And then there's interest. And then, or they could go after Liv Morgan, and there's history between them as well. So, Becky Lynch, last time she was champion, she lost the title because of your doppelganger, Dominic Mysterio, to Liv Morgan. So, I'm excited to see what they do and where they go. But Iyo Sky deserves all the praise and all the love in the world. She is incredible, and she's really come into her own over the last couple of years. It feels like when she gets left off a card or she gets she gets overlooked by somebody in WWE, that's when she shows out the most, because she should have been on the WrestleMania card and she wasn't. And ever since then, I feel like she's done nothing but prove why she should have been on WrestleMania, and she's proven them wrong time and time again.
I fully agree with you. Well said. All right, there's our Monday Night Raw review. Now it's time for some NXT. Don't forget NXT. And NXT, man, it's kind of wild now. I'm catching myself not knowing who everyone is anymore. Because
I know, I'm the same way.
Mine is like Tony D, minus a few other guys and girls, really, they've really like gutted and started over with this Evolve. Maybe I need to start watching Evolve or whatever to learn because that's who's now coming to NXT.
And LFG and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dark State's still there. They haven't been around that long. But I'm like, man, who are these people? I'm like trying to remember. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that person. Or I remember that girl. Or I remember like even Thea Hell's not really on it anymore, but she's still in it. But yeah, Ryan, what's your high? And I think I'm going to agree with what it is. But what's your high from NXT?
So in the main event of NXT, Tony D'Angelo retained his NXT championship and against Romeo Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the high for me, is Tony D is just NXT champion. I feel like this guy, he ever since he dropped the Mafia Man gimmick,
Tony D beat Cam Hendricks.
Cam Hendricks, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cam Hendricks, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Lexus King match.
Yes.
The speed
Yeah.
I don't know why the speed, maybe that's my low speed championship. But yeah, so Cam Hendricks. But Tony D being the NXT champion is the high of the week for me, because I think ever since he dropped the Mafia Man gimmick that he had, and ever since he came back from his absence, I feel like he's been nothing but fantastic. And I think he's filling the void that the Oba Femis, the Ricky Saints, the Trick Williams all left behind. And I think he's doing a damn good job on a roster where I don't know who 3/4 of the people are. I think he's standing out as one of the best, and he continues to prove it week in and week out, not only on the microphone, but in the ring. And that match against Cam Hendricks was really, really strong.
It was.
And I'm excited to see what they do, and probably going to lead to a match against each other again at Great American Bash or whatever. But I am excited to see Tony D as NXT champion. I think they need to keep the belt on him for the foreseeable future, because I feel like he's stable. He brings a lot of stability to that brand, and I think that's what they need at the moment with everybody moving up, everybody leaving, everybody being called up to the main roster. I think he brings stability, and I think that's important at the moment.
I fully agree. And we have been big supporters of him on Two Dudes with Attitudes Wrestling Podcast since day one. We said he should have been the next world champion. So
he should have beaten Oba Femi.
So he beat Oba Femi twice. Only man to beat Oba Femi twice. I think the only 3 people to beat Oba is Ricky Saints, Tony D twice, and now Brock Lesnar, if I'm not mistaken. But so I mean, he remember he was his kryptonite. He beat him for the North American, beat him for the time. But I think what I liked most about it, and what I think you forgot to talk about, was that Naruku and Rook came out afterwards and had a face-off, and basically it looks like they're going to wrestle to see who will wrestle Tony D next. And I like it, man. Naruku is obviously super big from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Rook is super big in John Cena's Wet Dreams. So they're both kind of doing their thing.
He's big, he's bad. I'll body slam your dad.
Rook is funny because like him just standing there in his frumpy clothes, all like not in shape, and I'm like, meh. And then he talks, and his British accent, it's not really doing it. I'm like, meh. But then he's in the ring, and I'm like, all right, I get it. So I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, he definitely should. If they have him beat Tony D right now, I'm gonna lose my mind. If they have no, I think Naruku is just kind of here to get evil. He's trying to get his bearings, learning the WWE so he can go to the big show, because he's older now and he's already a legend from Japan. He doesn't need to sit in here for so long. So I don't see him winning the belt. But no, Tony D, it's definitely a high. It was a good match, and I like that we're building contenders. Not like AEW, where after every single match on Dynamite, the guy challenged MJF. He had 17 people challenge him in every single match. It's like, we can't have everybody want the title. You got to have areas and levels to this. And I like that Naruku and Rook are the next up. And I think Rook's going to win next week. We'll see, and get the number 1 contender shot against Tony D.
I wouldn't hate that, but like you said, Tony D's got to continue being. He can't have Mason Rook win the title in his first match. He's got to.
No.
Tony D's got to hang on to it for a while. And like you were saying about Mason Rook, man, like I'm still not there on him. I know everyone loves him, even his in-ring ability. I'm like, okay, like he can do a moonsault, and
his finisher sucks.
He can flip. Yeah, his finisher does leave a lot to be desired.
Throws you on a turnbuckle like backwards. Like I don't.
Yeah,
no thanks.
I don't get that. And I don't want to compare him to Kevin Owens, because I feel like I'm comparing fat guys, but Kevin Owens looks like Kevin Owens at least looks like a legit badass.
Yes.
Like
yes.
he looks like even like he may not be in the best shape, but he looks like he would whoop your ass.
100%.
Mason Rook does not look that way.
Mm-mm.
He does not look like a guy that would whoop your ass in a fight. He just looks like, oh, hey guys, you need some help? Okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, and then he doesn't do anything. So so I'm not a fan of his look, but it's not because of his body. It's just I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling him yet.
He just doesn't look like a badass. And also Kevin Owens is a 10 out of 10 on the mic. So
yeah, that helps.
Mason Rook is not. Yeah. All right, let's go with the negative. And I might shock some people who watch NXT, but I'm going to go with Dark State right now. They decided to kick out Saquon, you know what I mean? And they kicked him out of the group and have sort of moved on. And now Saquon is all of a sudden out there and he's shocking them and he's interfering in their matches. And Dark State did beat Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights, so that was a good win. But, what are we doing is my kind of thing with them. Like, Dark State was kind of cool at the beginning when they were kind of having the Nexus vibe and beating people up in the dark. They tried to think they were the Shield and blah, 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 blah. But after that, they haven't done much, and they kind of got stale. And instead of just kind of breaking them up and letting them do their own thing separately, now there's 3 of them, and they kicked out a guy, and now that guy's going to try to get the comeuppance. I don't know. I'm just really not vibing. I think we've taken the mystique out of them, especially that the dude they kicked out for kind of a lame reason. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you were the limp duck or whatever. We wanted to kick you out anyway since you lost the title match. We kicked you out. It's just kind of weird. But now he's kicking your all asses, interfering in your matches, meeting you, and this and that. So kind of a weird take on it, but I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of the Dark State at the moment. I think they could be doing more, maybe just separating them. You know what I mean? And letting them kind of do their own thing. Do we really need a faction in NXT at the moment? I don't know.
No, I don't think that's what I was going to say. I don't think we necessarily need a faction in NXT, but we need some credible tag teams. And, they got a big win over Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights this week, which is great. But at the end of the day, like the constant bickering and the constant just, kicking the guy out and doing all this and going from looking like legit badasses to the main event to, feuding with Tony D'Angelo when he first came back to whatever it is they're doing now. It's not working. And, the WWE right now is struggling in all 3 brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, with having credible tag teams. And I think Dark State has potential to be one of those credible tag teams that they could build up to kind of revitalize the tag team division. And I feel like they're trying to, I guess, but at the same time, with everything going on, with all the inside turmoil that they're facing and all that stuff, it also feels like they're not really trying to at the same time. So I'm ready for the tag. I don't want to give up hope on the tag team division because I still think there's some potential there. But when you have teams like the Dark State doing what they're doing, it doesn't really help.
I agree. Well, there you go. There's our NXT review as well. So we covered Raw, NXT, and as we said, we already covered and Clash in Italy. Our review show was on there. Check it out. But now it is time for our favorite segment of the week, LVD and MVD, where we will give our least valuable and most valuable dude or dudette of the week. It doesn't mean we hate or love them. It just means they were the worst or best booked. So, Ryan, who is your LVD of the week?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa.
I knew you would. I can tell
mainly,
you vibes. I sensed it.
Mainly because, he's the ultimate guy who he's Napoleon complex, right? He's the little guy who talks the talk, but when it comes time to walking the walk, he gets his ass kicked every single time. And that's what Solo Sikoa reminds me of. Like he talks the talk. I don't acknowledge Roman, Jacob. Why are you going to acknowledge Roman? You guys might fall in line with Roman, but I'll never fall in line with Roman, he says to the Usos and all that. And then he gets an opportunity to stare down Roman and doesn't say anything, just stares him down. And then he gets an opportunity in the King of the Ring tournament on Monday Night Raw to, up against Oba Femi and Javon Evans and a few other people. And what does he do? He loses. And not only does he lose, but he takes the pin. And he just, I don't know. I just feel like, and they had they had the moment with Oba Femi and Tonga, and I felt like that was better received by the fans than Oba Femi and Solo Sikoa, because it just goes to show you how far Solo Sikoa has fallen since the MFTs, since he took over. And I'm supposed to believe that they're a credible threat to the bloodline right now. I don't know. And the fact that it happened immediately after the acknowledgement ceremony, and there was no Solo's music hits as Roman and Jacob are leaving the ring and the MFTs are coming and they stare each other down again as he's going. Like, they didn't do any of that. It was just a separate thing. I don't know what they're doing, but Solo Sikoa gets my LVD of the week for sure.
Yeah, that's a good L. I'm going with another bloodline member. I'm going with Jacob Fatu. I know I praised the fact, if you listen to our Clash in Italy review show, that I like that he lost clean, but he did lose clean in a booking sense, and that's what this segment is all about. He lost clean twice now, and then he kind of just settled in. He didn't really fight it. He had a little bit of oomph in him when he was talking about it, but basically he just fell in line, and now he's one of everybody else. He went from like, I stand alone, I'm a lone wolf, I'm that guy, all gas, no brakes, I'm him, yeah, I mean, and this and that.
I love
and now,
you, Solo.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's just another dude behind Roman Reigns after losing to him twice back-to-back clean. So to me, Jacob Fatu takes the L.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. And the other thing, I didn't talk about this with the segment, but what's next for Roman Reigns? Like, who's the next challenger? Who's he going to face? I know we have to wait for King of the Ring and all that, but
he's skipping Saudi, isn't he? That's what they already stated, right? They already said that, yeah.
Yeah, but they also said that he was going to be out for the entire month of May, and he came back, and they said he was going to be out for the month of June, and there he was on the first episode of Raw, and I think he's going to be on Raw next week. So I don't think anybody really knows, but yeah, but what is next for Roman Reigns? And where the hell is CM Punk? Like, can we get him back, please? Like, he's not in King of the Ring.
Yeah, how hurt is he? Like, what happened to him?
Yeah, like you can't. Cody Rhodes was like, "Hey, Punk, anytime you want a shot, you got it." And Punk's not in the. You never know when an opportunity will fall in your lap, and then King of the Ring happens and he's not in it. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. All right, let's end it on a positive. Who's your MVD of the week?
My MVD is none other than our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I know I feel like I've been dogging him a lot on this, but it's really his segment that I was dogging, not him as well. But just going from winning at Clash in Italy against Jacob Fatu, in the way that he did, but the confidence that he had, where he was yelling stuff during the match, talking about, I don't need the Usos. You think I need them? I don't need shit. Like dropping F-bombs, talking smack about Cody Rhodes, saying like QB1, fuck that noise. Just all these things like off camera, like just cutting those great promos that he does when he's just talking directly to the camera. And then the opening segment on Monday Night Raw, it felt important. People were tuned in to see what was going to happen. I may not have liked the segment, but I mean, he made Jacob Fatu fall in line. He's got Jacob Fatu in his corner now. That's a huge advantage for anyone. Jacob Fatu's he's that guy. He's kind of like, in the NBA, he's that one guy that you don't want. You want him on you love him if he's on your team. You hate him if you're playing against him. And that's kind of how I feel about Jacob Fatu. Like having him on the team with Roman Reigns is a huge advantage for Roman Reigns and the bloodline moving forward. So I'm going to give the MVD to Roman Reigns because he got Jacob to fall in line and he had a great match in the main event of Clash in Italy.
I mean, and like I said, and Jacob's my L, so those kind of go together. My MVD is none other than my girl, Sol Ruka. Her first singles gold in WWE. She got it pretty damn quick. She got it by beating possibly the GOAT, and it's not just me saying it. Bleacher Report saying it. Sports Illustrated.
I like how she dropped that line too in her promo.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
but yeah, Sol did in her little promo. But yeah, I like it all. I mean, she's got to be she won her first gold. Didn't miss on the Soul Snatcher, had a great match with Becky Lynch, is now a champion by beating a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer. I love it. So Ruka, definitely my MVD of the week. And I picture big things with her. I'm telling you, she's the best in the biz right now. And I think she'll go down one day as being one of the all-time greats if she can have a long career and keep it up. So
yeah, I like what they're doing with Soul. I'm digging it. I just hope that they give her the time in the Intercontinental Championship division, the mid-card division of the women's section, to shine. Anytime, I feel like when the title hasn't been on Becky Lynch, the Intercontinental Championship has kind of fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
Just like the U.S. Championship, prior to being on Tiffany Stratton, it was on Julia, and half the time we didn't even know who the champion was. I hope they don't do that with the women's IC title. I hope they give Sol Ruka the opportunity to shine, because I do think she has a bright future ahead of her, and I think she is proving that week in and week out, and the crowd loves her. But I hope that they give her a good reign, a long, lengthy reign, and I hope they give her actual stories and actual feuds to make this championship run memorable.
I fully agree with you, brother. I think they will. Putting a rocket on her, but they also did that with Julia, and so where is she right now? Yeah, right. Right. All right. Well, there it is. That is our WWE week in review. As always, if you like us, check it out, comment, follow us, and thank you again. Our YouTubes were blowing up this week. Getting there. We're putting out every single week again. So please do what you need to do. And as always, I'm at 18,000 on TikTok, over 5,000 on Insta. I'm trying to get to 30 and 10. So help a brother out and follow me on those at my_wrestling_opinion. And with me, as always, is
Ryan. Enjoys wrestling on all the social media platforms, so go follow me over there. Go follow us on X at 2DudesPC, Twitch, 2Dudes_with_attitudes, Instagram, 2Dudes_with_attitudes podcast, right here on YouTube at 2Dudes_with_attitudes, and on TikTok at 2Dudes_with_attitudes as well. If you agree with any of our takes, if you agree with our highs or our lows of the week, or if you have your own highs and lows of the week, let us know in the comments below. Let's get some engagement going. So, let us know, and we'll respond to every single comment. We'll like them all. But we appreciate all the love and support there. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate the love and support we get from that. We're in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts. We want to get into the top 5%, the top 1%. And the way to do that is by listening, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and following us on a regular basis. So make sure you do all that, and tell everyone about your favorite two dudes on the internet, because we appreciate all the love and support. And yeah, we're gonna blow this thing up, man. Like you were saying,
we're getting there, because we the twos, but we also the ones. Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ron and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat.